Sir.
Join, but it is not able to connect. Okay, so here, hello.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, hello.
Hello,
Can you
sir.
hear me? Yeah. Okay. Now we do.
Galaxy J to please mute.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Actually, yeah. Fine. So today we'll do. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Drama. Okay. Unit 4.
Unit 4.
यूनिट 4 वोले सोइंग का कॉन्गीस
मतलब बोलने का मतलब
Congress harvest. You open the page number 126.
खाली लाइट ले ले लोग भी वहाँ पे है।
So page number 126, open all of this. Okay. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Fine. You might have read Shakespeare's dramas. What is drama? Just let me know. Do you have the difference between? Do you have any idea about the drama and theater? Hello. Hello, students. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
तो मामले का छोड़ के
Can anyone of you say, please mute your device? One of the students has been making noise. Hello. Yeah. Can anyone of you say about the difference between the drama and theater? Hello. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Drama is nothing but about the play which is done on the stage.
Okay. Then what is theater?
Theatre is also the same thing, but the performance will be somewhat experienced.
Okay.
And it is done in
anyone of
conditioned rooms.
yeah. Any one of the other students about the theater and the drama?
So
You
drama
might have read
is played
Shakespeare.
for everyone in the public, and theater is played in the auditorium.
Okay. So here, all of us go to theater to see already directed, produced the movie to see in a theater. But whereas a drama to do on the stage, what are the characteristic features of the drama? Can any one of you please Can anyone of you say about the features of the drama? Now you come to know the difference between the drama and the theater. Can you hear me? Hello, students. Hello, students.
Yeah, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes. Tell the difference, the features of the drama. Hello. See, here we have three units of drama: time, place, and action. If you look at a drama on the stage, there are characters, flat and round characters. And there is a music and the dialogue between the characters. And the use of the language also different from the time, place, and action. So here, drama is with the multiple aspects of its performance. Whenever you look at a drama with the music, a song, and dance, as well as the use of the language, characters, all these are all part of the drama. So here in dramas, you have the 5 acts and 1 act plays. When you look at the 5 acts with the scene 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, similarly act 2. So the dramas of the Elizabethan age and Shakespeare are different from the modern age dramas, because modern age dramas are all with 1 act play. They do not have the 5 acts, because here the dramas of modern age are with the crisis of identity or social existence, and it does not have any kind of solution to the problem in 1 act plays of the modern age. But whereas the dramas of the Shakespeare are all with the problems and its solutions. So now you come to know that how dramas are all with these characteristic features and thematic concerns, and how the Shakespeare's dramas are from the Elizabethan age to modern age, or keep on changing its time, place, and action. So now we look into the Ole Soyinka, Skonge's Harvest. So here you will see that the background of the writer here, dramatist. He was born in Abeokuta in western Nigeria in 1934. Was educated in a government college, Ibadan, and New University College. And then when he moved from that place to Leeds University in 1954, after his graduation in English at Leeds, he worked as a teacher, as a reader and scriptwriter in London. Here in the late 1950s, first dramatic sketches, poems, and songs were performed. Soyinka returned to Nigeria in 1960, and he was a research fellow in drama, and soon established himself as Ibadan as an actor. So now we come to know that he is an actor, as a dramatist, and he has that kind of exceptional talent as a director of excellent in his research fellow, as well as the way how he was a dramatist and actor. It is 3 plays was published by Embury in 1963. He was known as a prolific writer, versatile personality, and a multifaceted genius regarding his contribution to the literature of the post-colonial. If you look at his poetry and fiction and criticism, are all with this kind of post-colonial elements, and it's whatever the concerns of the resistance. He was imprisoned during the Nigerian Civil War. He spent the next 5 years living in Europe and Ghana. So, as and when we look into the dramatist background, then he was known as an activist, a dramatist, and a popular writer. As and when he had his personal history with this kind of background, then he was known with this kind of a multifaceted genius. And here, as a prolific writer of this African literature, and here we have his Congie's Harvest. We'll see that how this Congie's Harvest deals with this kind of background of the Nigeria, as well as the tribes of that land. In this play, how Congie's Harvest is the representation of post-colonial elements, concerns, and a resistance, and a representation of the marginals against the mainstream. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello, can you hear? Yeah. So
Yeah,
here, when you look at this, Ole Soyinka's Congie's Harvest and his poetry, telephone conversation,
तारीख
he
का खत्म हो गया
had tried to emerge as a activist, a dramatist, and a poet from this kind of background of resistance. The opening scene of the play is called Hemlock, and it begins with a roll of drums, which normally accompanies a national anthem. The audience rises at the sound of the anthem. So here, as I told you, that how a drama is with this kind of background, and to see that the drama of the traditional as well as marginals, and how their representation is with this kind of resistance of the storytelling of local tradition. Okay, so here when we look into this kind of storytelling of the local tradition, and the dramatist wishes to establish that local tradition against the popular tradition, against the master. So here in this drama, you can see that kind of collective struggle, social consciousness, nationality, and with this kind of characters of their indigenous. So here the drama introduces from this kind of sound of the anthem, and the audience, are very close to this anthem. So here in this drama, we can see that Africa, African religious spirituality, as well as resistance and celebration of past ritualistic its concerns. So in a drama, that how the thematic concerns or the representation of break from the colonial power politics against the colonizer. In this drama, we have handful of characters, and here each and every character is a representation of their traditional name, traditional whatever the cultural representation of their gods and goddesses. For instance, hello students. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here, yeah, I think most of the students are Telugu. In Telugu, we have Mallamma, Ellamma, Pentaya, Pullaya. Some of the names which are related to their gods and goddesses. Are you all familiar with this kind of names of tradition and culture?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Similarly, in this African religious cultural representation based writers had tried to name their characters to show their authentic experience, to show their ground reality of the characteristic features of their tradition and culture. So here, one of the characters here, Oba Danlola, who is a traditional ruler, and the other character, Urola, his favorite.
Your voice is very less, sir. We can't hear you.
Okay, so here, as I told you, that the representation of the culture and tradition with the names. Oba Danlola, who is a traditional ruler, and his wife's name is Ulola. Okay, and then here we have one more character of Oba Danlola's. Hello, yeah. So here you look at the third character. His name is Ogbo Avery. So as I told you that as we have the familiarity with Yellaya, Malaya, Pullaya, Pentaya, the names of Kanakaya, Kanakamma, the names of our traditional background are with the richness of the tradition and the culture. Similarly, here Ole Soyinka also named the characters with this kind of traditional background. So here, the way how the characters were introduced in the opening scene of the play. Okay, so here you can understand that Kongi's harvest. Here, Kongi is a protagonist and is the representation of death, a representation of violence, and a modern dictator. Okay, so here when you look at the harvest season, what it represents, it is going to uproot the fields. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello, students.
Yes, sir. We can hear you. Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Yeah, Kongi is the representation of death, distraction, violence, and uprooting the tradition versus the traditional ruler Oba Danlola. It's very crystal clear that the name of the play is with this Kongi's harvest. So the modern ruler always tries to uproot the traditional concerns of the indigenous people. For instance, if you look at the East India Company, British Empire, they were against the Indians in the name of the modernity. So if you look at the modern ruler against the traditional people and kings or queens. So here, Kongi, who is the representation of the death, distraction, and the modern dictator, who is a modern dictator. So here in this Kongi's harvest, you can see tradition versus modernity. Okay, so here you can see that how violence versus peace. So here when you look at that kind of peace is in the form of a tradition and the violence in the form of a dictatorship of Kongi are all part of this drama. So Danlola's retinue of drummers and burglars break into a song which it goes as follows. So here, when you look at the opening scene of this drama with this kind of dance, music, and song, and how the chorus is, with its coherence of that unity. So, if you look at the Burrakathas and Harikathas of Telangana region, you are familiar to know that how tradition unites the people to, serve the purpose of their rich culture, or that could be any kind of tradition, or the whatever their historical background. So here, if you look at the opening scene with this kind of dance, drum beating, and the songs sung by the people, and here the opening is with this kind of its coherence of the song. The pot that will eat fat, its bottom must be scorched. The squirrel that will long pack nuts, its footpad must be sown. The sweetest wine has flowed down the taper's shattered shins, and there is more, ho, ho. Who says there is not more? Who says there is not plenty a word in a penny newspaper? So here you can see that how the cultural representation of the people of this background of the Nigerians, and here its thematic concerns to show that their unity in against the modern ruler. The modern ruler who is going to uproot the traditional ruler here, Oba Danlola. You can see that Oba Danlola versus Kongi. And here, Kongi is the representation of what? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Kongi is representation of
Kongi is
what?
death, destruction, and violence.
Yes. Kongi is the representation of violence, modern dictator, and death, as well as distraction. Against whom he is.
English.
Against Uva Dandola.
Right. So here, hello, students.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry, because of my admin work, I have to be engaged. Fine. So here, you can see that how it is a representation of the unity of the traditional people against the modern dictator Kongi. So here you can see that the invaders and the colonizers of the colonial time, how they uprooted our education system of ashrama, gurukula, as well as Takshashila, Nalanda universities, and they made us to serve their purpose. So similarly, common here thing is that in terms of the Kongi's harvest, the way here modern dictator Kongi wishes to harvest the traditional ruler's kingdom, here nothing but Oba Danlola. Are you able to follow? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now you come to know that the way how this drama is the resistance against the modern dictator. It is the representation against the modern dictator and power politics. Okay. So the opening section contains a microcosm of the play's theme. In this ironical anthem, we derive a few images which are pivotal to the play. the first image part of a Yoruba proverb. So here you can see that hello students.
Yes, sir.
So here, proverbs are from our Telangana background are different from the Andhra background. So similarly, here the proverb which is used in this anthem is ironical anthem, and it is it was from the Yoruba proverb, and it conveys the idea that for every ambitious and objective there is a price to be paid. We gather this from the image of the pot and the squirrel. A possibility suggested by the third image of the wine flowing down the shattered shins of the taper ironically suggests that sometimes one might work very hard and yet not be able to reap the benefits. For instance, if you look at the farmers here, peasants, they work night and day, but they may not reap the equal payments or benefits. So similarly, you have to suffer for your success. And here the Yoruba proverb also with the representation of its the concerns of their concerns of the culture or tradition. So this is what here you can see that you have to pay back to the society, and if you want to have any ambition or any kind of aim, you have to suffer, you have to pay. So until unless you pay that kind of sacrifice, you will not achieve anything. So like that, these images and ensuing concepts become clear and relevant when the drama unfolds itself in the remaining sections. So here you can see that the chorus continues the anthem. So as and when you look at during the colonial time dramas and harikathas and burakathas, that way to resist the British Empire. Similarly, here Yoruba proverbs too also had that kind of resistance in against the British in against the modern dictator Kongi. Okay, so here in the following anthem of this second portion, ism to ism, for ism is ism, of isms and isms on absolutism, to demonstrate the tree of life is sprung from broken peach, and we, the rotted bark, spurn when the tree swells its pot, the mucus that is snorted out. When Congress' new race blows and more, oh, there is a harvest of words in a penny newspaper. In the audience, we find another character named Sarumi, who is a junior Oba. Oba in African language refers to the ruler of the tribe. Then there is also the superintendent, who is invested with the insignia of the new era, khaki and brass buttons. So here the anthem is the representation of the Yoruba proverbs and their constant reference to their tradition, culture, and unity, as well as how they are going to unite the people in against the modern dictator Congo. So here, when you look at the power shift from the Britishers to the Congress party during the independence time, only the power is shifted from one to the another, but the social hierarchy and the inequalities remained as it is. So here, when you look at these kind of representation, the hello, yeah. So representation of this kind of drama is making sense of its power politics as well as its identity politics and its concerns towards the liberation and freedom of their community. So here, the way how traditional ruler is going to serve the purpose of his status as well as the welfare of the society. So here, the Jingling anthem goes on further to reflect the prevailing political situation. The new regime, built on new political theories, has succeeded in displacing the old. So hello students. So one of your classmates unmuted. Please ask them to mute their device. Why are you?
Galaxy
Hello.
J2, please mute.
Yeah. If please mute your device. Yeah, fine. So as you know that the African, Caribbean, and Canadian literatures are the representation of the identity politics of their own, as and when they wish to establish their identity in the name of the power politics. So similarly here, Oba Danlola wishes to serve the purpose of the welfare of the people and their tradition and culture, as and when the new regime is going to establish, then the old will have to face the music of the distraction and the violence. So here in the anthem, Oba Danlola is with this kind of stand that they say, oh, how they say it all on silent skulls, but who cares? Who but a lunatic will bandy words with knaves, with government, reduction sets, which talk and never take a lone word in reply. As the chorus continues thus to satirize the anthem, the superintendent rushes in agitated and orders them not to speak of a king in this manner. So here, when you look at the power shifting from the traditional ruler to the modern dictator Kongi, Oba Danlola to Kongi, then the anthem is the critique of the modern dictator. And the superintendent says, no, you should not criticize, you should not satirize the new king Kongi and his politics. Here, how the drama is with this kind of opening scene of the anthem, which describes the traditional ruler Oba Danlola towards the Kongi's harvest, modern dictator. And in that, according to him, a king does not become a commoner just because he puts his crown aside when he eats. At this point, Danlola, the traditional ruler, steps into a slow royal dance to the beat of Bidu drums as the chorus sings in their native African language. It continues to portray the new regime and the new ruler in a derogatory manner. So here, the anthem is the description of the power shift from traditional to modern dictator. In that, the superintendent is, making that kind of satire against the traditional ruler who is down to earth to his people. But whereas the modern dictator is unlike Oba Danlola, traditional ruler. So here, when you look at that derogatory manner of the new ruler, don't pound the king's yam in a small mortar. Don't pound the king's yam in a small mortar. Small as the spice is, it cannot. So here you look at it cannot be swallowed whole. So here when you look at these kind of derogatory words against the modern, that who is the representation of the distraction, violence, and death, and who is unconcerned to his people. Sarumi is also expressed ruler. Danlola intervenes and ridicules him. He represents the new order. For instance, hello students.
Yes, sir.
Hello students.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. For instance, if you look at the British Empire as a trader, and as and when they established the East India Company in Surat as well as in Calcutta, they made Indians to become the slaves of their power politics and their existential the rule from their concerns. So they made the people to serve their power politics, and they educated the people to become their puppets of faith in the name of the government officials, and they had that kind of inbuilt nature to transform the people from local to global, one side, the other side to destroy their native culture. Are you able to understand here? Hello. Hello, students.
Yes, sir.
So here, some of the Indians, they were educated by the British and they became the clerks and to support the British Empire against their local native culture and their concerns. Is it true or not? So similarly, in this Congress harvest, Superintendent became puppet of faith and who is a slave, with his strategical survivals of his selfish nature, and he was with the modern king, modern dictator Kongi. And here, Oba Danlola, who is a friend of people as a ruler, and who is a king, is the representation of a god, and here who is with the social welfare of his people. So when you look at the superintendent role, that to shift from the traditional modern dictator, then they looked at him that who is a slave with this kind of strategy of his survival. So if you look at this kind of Danlola intervenes and ridicules him as he represents the new order. So here, whenever you looked at the educated people of India, and they are partially in support of or in favor of the British Empire for their survival to become the white collar employers and disturb jobbers. Are you able to understand? So this is what here the strategy of the local people, and among the administrators here, superintendent is a puppet of fate and who is an opportunist to work against the traditional ruler Oba Danlola and in favor of the new ruler. When he attempts to silence the royal drums, it represents his power given to him by the new regime. Yet his power over the Oba is only physical. So Danlola makes fun of him. So here you can see the opportunist, always, they approve themselves because they wish to survive. Is it true or not? So like that here, superintendent to have that kind of opportunist nature, and here Oba Danlola criticizes him. No, it is nothing new. Your betters stopped the drums a long time ago, and you, the slave in khaki and brass buttons, now lick your master's spit and boast, we chew the same tobacco. So here, Oba Danlola criticizes superintendent that you are good for nothing and you are against to your tradition and culture, and the new modern dictator, who is a representation of the distraction, but you are in favor of him. So here he says that we the people of our motherland, and we remain as it is with our tradition of chewing the tobacco and with that kind of cultural representation, and in this anthem, that how it is making sense of the tradition versus the modernity. On hearing this, the superintendent feels insulted and advises Sarumi to warn the ruler, but Sarumi silences him with a statement. We do not hear the jackal's call when the father speaks. Are you able to understand this? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Students, here it is making sense of that kind of resistance, a representation of the unity of traditional people against the jackals like superintendent. Superintendent wants Sarumi that to silence the a traditional ruler Oba Dandola, but they say that we do not hear the jackal's call when the father speaks. So if you look at the colonial time, that how the educated people became the police administrators to serve the purpose of the British Empire in the name of the employment. So here the superintendent too had that kind of strategy, but the people of the traditional background and the supporters of Oba Dandola, traditional ruler, they never and ever bother about anything, and they do not like to care jackal's call against the father speaks. Okay, so now Dandola recalls the time when the new ruler Kongi, who is the protagonist of the play, after whom it is named, seized power from his hands, casting aside wisdom and the counsel of the every fraternity. So here you look at that how power politics engages the people from one place to the other place. For instance, if you look at here our Telangana formation, as well as the way how the state is into this kind of power politics of modern dictator. And when you look at the Kongi's harvest from this kind of background, so Kongi, who is the president of Isma land, who had wrested power from the hands of the traditional ruler in place of the Avery fraternity, he has now formed the reformed fraternity, which has 6 members in it. The traditional ruler comments disparagingly on this, a big name for little heads, and now he wants to eat the first of the new yam. So here yam is nothing but it's a culture of festival of that whatever we see that sweet potato like that. And here in that he says, soon a wordy battle takes place between them, and the superintendent tells the ruler that he had been given too much freedom by the organizing secretary. In a mock gesture of gratitude, the ruler attempts to prostrate before him, but is prevented by his followers. The latter too does not wish to reap curses on his head, but Dandola says, "Curse, who spoke of curses to prostrate before a loyal servant? Oh, of Kongi, is that a curse?" At this, he becomes ashamed and penitent and apologizes thus. So here, the child is nothing. It is only the glory of his forebears that the world sees and tolerates in him. At the intervention of those around him, especially that of Sarumi, the ruler is pacified. Now the drummer makes it clear that this was the last time that they all danced together, referring to the new regime, he says. So here the power shift, from traditional to modernity, as well as the people are, from traditional background, and how they wish to, counter the modern dictator. They say we took too much silk for the royal canopy, but the dead will witness we never ate the silkworm. In a bid to improve on his version of the allegations Dandola had to face, Sarumi underlines the significant and sacrificial part that the Oba has to play. His duties were not restricted to taking care of his subjects. They complained because the first of the new yams melted first in the Oba's mouth, but the dead will witness we drew the poison from the root. the ruler gradually, withdraws into himself as he sits slowly in a chair, while the drummer and the avari speak about the unfortunate plight of their former leader. Sarumi invokes the sign of Horo, which was a
Excuse me.
cult of the dead, regrets the past, and doubts the future with a new regime that has Kongi as the president. Yes.
Sir, first of all, please explain the summary of the drama. We are line by line explanation will take so much time, sir, because it has 20-30 pages is there, the total drama. And important themes that we explain, sir. Sir? Sir?
Hello. Yeah. Hello.
Yes,
Sir.
Pardon? Hello.
Sir.
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Continue.
Yeah. So here you look at the drama from this kind of traditional background that Ole Soyinka had tried to establish the traditional ruler's purpose of his kingship and welfare of his duties as mind as well as the service towards the people. So here, when we look at from this kind of background of the play, that how Ole Soyinka's concerns towards the traditional historical as well as the cultural representations of his stand as well as his representation of the social concern. So here, when we look at the drama from this kind of background, that how this Afro-American literature is a representation of fertility and motherhood as well as social consciousness. So here, each and every aspect of this drama shows that how the traditional ruler Oba Danlola, who is with his stand and the service of the people, and the people also had that king as a god, and here Kongi is with that kind of dictatorship as well as his representation of the destructive powers, death and violence. So when we look at all these, then we can see that how this drama is the representation of tradition versus the modernity, as well as slave versus the master, and the people's social consciousness, and how their with the concerns of the self dignity, respect and social consciousness. So this is what here we can understand how this drama is the representation of post-colonialism and its concerns of the break from the colonial hegemony. So here we'll see that this representation of traditional rulers point of view against the modern dictator. So here we can see that the people, how they are engaged in this kind of traditional song and with their local language proverbs against the modern dictator. So this is what here how the drama is with this kind of unity of the traditional people. Kongi now insists that in the public forum scheduled for the following day, the former ruler Oba Dandola hand over the new yam to him in full public view as a symbol of power being transferred to Kongi, the new president. Okay, so this is what here we can see that how a king will be step down from the throne, and the new king will be on the throne. So this is what you can see the way how Kangi wishes to take the power from the Oba Dandola traditional ruler, and at once the secretary comes up with a solution. All we want is some way of persuading King Danlola to bring the new yam to Kongi with his own hands. I have organized the rest. Only one thing is missing: Oba Danlola. Kongi desires that the king perform all his customary spiritual functions. Only this time that he performed them to him, a leader. Kongi must preside as the spirit of harvest in portions of the 5-year development plan. So this is the way how modern dictator always tries to be, as a upper hand, tries to show his power politics with his modern development, and he wishes to take the power from the Oba Danlola. So this is what you can see how power shifts from traditional to modern dictator. And here we can see that again the scene shifts to Kangi's retreat. The every speak to one another, but their speech is not really coherent, as they have been fasting for several days, yet they feel determined to expose Oba Dandola and reveal to the people that such rulers, beyond the outward trappings of pomp and ceremony and a regular supply of snuff, okay, so have no other interest in the running of the state. So here, the modern dictators never and ever in favor of the welfare state of the people. Just they wish to have the power and to run their state with the dictatorship as well as the representation of their power politics. So here we can see that how this drama is with the strategy of the modern dictator, so 5 years development plan, as well as is concerns against the people. As a king, he does not have any kind of human nature or ethics about his kingship. So here he is the representation of violence. He never and ever bother us about that people's welfare and their concerns of culture or tradition. So this is how the drama is with this kind of traditional versus the modern dictator. Now we'll see that the first part of the end of this drama, how he had a kind of threat by Seji, who is the former lover of Kongi. And in Seji's view, Kongi represents negativity, distraction, and death, while Oba Danlola symbolizes sacrifice and life. This view she impresses on Dawood's mind, as this he says, I find grief sharpen my appetite for living. Meanwhile, in Kongi's retreat, we see him in a furious mood. So this is what here you can see that how he is ferocious and how he commands that to show his power politics. I want him back alive if possible, if not any other way, but I want him back. So here he orders the secretary that to get back, to see to threat This is what here how is the representation of distraction, negativity, death. So when we look at this kind of distractive power against the creativity, against the fertility, against the social consciousness. So here we can see that how the drama is with the handful of characters, that how here the Congese or West is with the representation of distraction, as well as the power politics of that negativity and death. So here, when we look at all these aspects of the drama, then we can see that Ole Soyinka had touched the aspects which are in day-to-day life with the ground reality. So part one, he is with this kind of is command, and how he had that kind of ferocious nature. Okay, so we'll see that the way how with the second part of its continuation of the first. Kongi takes back his honesty and is determined that the convicts of the bomb blast be hanged. So here there was a bomb blast whenever Seiji plans to kill Kongi, and then here he was escaped, and then you can see Kongi wishes to have the bomb blasters, and he wants to punish him. The second part of the play begins with a scene in Oba Danlola's palace. There seems to be a great deal of commotion as some large-scale preparation is underway. Danlola is trying out one thing, rejecting it and trying on another. The scepter that is offered to him does not please him. Daudu storms in and wants to know whether the Oba would take part in the procession. To this, the Oba replies. So here, when you see the part 1 and 2, that how the power shift engages the people of the tradition and the modern dictator, and here the modern dictator always tries to show his power politics with the distraction, violence, and negativity, and representation of death. So if we go through the first and second part, then we can see that how Dandola tells him that wise birdlings know how to separate the pigeon's cooing from the still alarm. When organs talks, the forest Sarumi tells that in that when a squirrel finds sanctuary up the irko tree, the hunter chase concludes. So here you can see how the hunter is always chases a squirrel or birds or animals whenever he he does not have that kind of cleverness. He will not success in his hunting. Similarly, Kongi does not have that kind of cleverness to uproot the tradition and to destroy the culture of Oba Danlola's historical background. So when we look at this kind of cultural traditional representation with the unity, then they are quite against the modern dictator. So here, when we look at all these, then we can see that Oba Danlola, who is the representation of culture, tradition, and the people of the that tribe. So here, when we look at all these, then you can see how Congi's harvest is making sense of all these aspects of the power politics. So here, a genuine harvest, or of the fertility and a new age shows that the welcome of new ruler, but whereas here Congi's harvest is quite against. Congi is ferocious nature, is quite against to the new cultural representation. So this is what here, when we look at how the power shift from the traditional ruler to the modern dictator, with this kind of challenges and issues to serve the purpose of the people and to preserve the tradition, culture, and the aspects of their traditional background. So here, the way how the anthem of that representation shows Ole Soyinka's stand against the modernity and the dictatorship and the distractive nature, as well as the deathbed, as well as the negative aspect of the development. So here, when you look at the drama, the kind of nature,
Sultana, please mute your microphone device. सुल्ताना,
No sound.
सुल्ताना, आपका
sound.
माइक्रोफोन, हेलो, आपके माइक्रोफोन म्यूट करिए.
No sound.
hello, hello,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
So here, Congi's harvest is with this kind of traditional background of the people and the rulers who is in favor of the tradition as well as the culture. And here, if we look at that how it is in terms of the power politics and power shift, then we can see that how this drama is with all the aspects of tradition versus the modernity, as well as peace versus the violence and the hello, yeah. So when we look at all these, then we can see that how Ole Soyinka had tried to look at all these aspects from that kind of background. So we can see that how it is with that kind of post-colonial background, as well as its historical sense of its power politics and the literature of their own. So we can see that Ole Soyinka, who had established this kind of history and the modern dictators harvest in against the traditional ruler. So this is what we can see how this drama is the representation of culture as well as tradition and the people's social consciousness. Okay, so here we can understand how Ole Soyinka had the touch of the history from his cultural and traditional background, and you can understand how this represents that kind of aspect of the play with this kind of cultural representation. So this is what the way how you can understand the play from the post-colonial background. Okay, so when we look at this play from this kind of post-colonial background, then we Yeah. So here you can see that the power politics of the modern dictators always, to draw the attention from the uh, people in the name of the modernity and to serve the purpose of their cultural representation. So if you look at this kind of background of literature, which is the representation of power politics, which is the representation of the cultural and traditional background. So here, when we look at all these, then we can understand how the Congi's harvest is the representation of not only tradition and culture, it is the representation of people concern, and it is the representation of welfare society. So here, when we look at the clash between the people of that small land and their concerns to their culture and tradition, then we can see that how the people of small land are in favor of the traditional ruler and in against the modern dictator. So this is what we can see the way how it is, with this kind of identity politics of the traditional people. So when we look at always these kind of traditional and cultural background, social consciousness, then we can see that African American literature with this kind of background to serve the purpose of the social consciousness. and to serve the purpose of that self-respect and dignity of the indigenous people. So this is what you can understand how the author had tried to look at all these aspects from this kind of background, that the way to understand here the government of the people and against the people. So if we look at the definition of the democracy, for the people, of the people, by the people. But now if you look at the modern dictators rule, it is for the people, of the people, and it buys the people in the name of the elections. So similarly, Congi is to had that touch of the distraction, as well as the violence and the survival strategies of is power politics. So here, the way how it is, with this kind of part part two. When this kind of representation, the tradition of modernity, and we can how it is the last part of the film.
No sound. No sound.
No. Hello, students.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Sir, we are unable to hear your voice, sir.
See here, somebody unmuted their device. I can't do anything. I cannot, mute them. They have to mute. Hello.
गैलेक्सी 2 सुल्ताना, आपके डिवाइसेस म्यूट करिए प्लीज.
Fahmida Sultana, please mute yourself. Fahmida Sultana, please mute yourself.
Fatima Sultana, please mute yourself.
सुल्ताना, आपके डिवाइस को म्यूट करिए प्लीज. यू आर डिस्टर्बिंग द होल क्लास.
Fahmida Sultana, mute your device.
गैलेक्सी 20 म्यूट करिए प्लीज. यू आर डिस्टर्बिंग द क्लास.
Please mute yourself. Please. I am requesting.
Galaxy 20, A20, Galaxy A20 తెలుగులో చెప్తున్నాను మీ డివైస్ ని మ్యూట్ చేసుకోండి ప్లీజ్ మ్యూట్ యువర్ డివైస్ Galaxy 20
Hello. Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir.
sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
sir.
it's a play of political satire and a representation of the myth, tradition, culture, and the power shift from tradition to modern dictator. And when you look at the part one and part two with this kind of background, that how Kongi is with this kind of representation of the distraction, violence, as well as the power politics. So when you look at this kind of background of the modern dictator, that is nowhere concerned to the people's social welfare, and who is always with the survival strategies of his modernity. So here, the way Wole Soyinka had tried to look at this drama from the post-colonial point of view, then we can understand how the post-colonialism is the representation of resistance against the colonial empire, hegemony, and power structure. So here, post-colonialism always tries to construct the idea of the resistance as well as the counter discourse against the modernity. So here, the part one and part two are with this kind of elements of
Sir, can you please
okay. So here, if we look at that, how this post-colonial element is in part one and part two, with the representation of the resistance, shows that the presentation of the power politics from the traditional background as well as the modern dictator, then the way how people are into this kind of power politics. So here the protagonist Kongi, who is in terms of his power politics, always with the distraction and the establishment of his power with the violence. And here Oba Danlola, who is a traditional ruler and who is in favor of the people's welfare, always he is with his concerns towards the tradition and culture, and who is against the modern dictator. And if you look at Daozu is a diplomatic and a courageous and a determined character, and here he is that way to say how he wants to be the follower of traditional ruler. And here, one of the women characters, Seiji, who is a mysterious, powerful, and clever woman who wishes to kill Kongi, but here he escaped from that, and her father was killed in the bomb blast. And Seiji is the representation of fertility and portrayed as a goddess for the tradition. And here, each and every character is with its identity, that how they are with the traditional king, and how they want to be with that kind of welfare of the society, with the social consciousness. So here, when we look at all these, then here we can see that all the characters of this Kongi's harvest shows that tradition and culture are part of the people of the tribes, and they do not like to have the modern dictator. And at last, here it is the conclusion that way to resist against the modern dictator. So we can understand that Ole Soyinka had tried to establish that kind of resistance play with this kind of background of the tradition versus the modernity. So this is what one can understand how it is with this kind of themes of the post-colonial literature, and the theme of its play with this kind of dynamic nature of all the post-colonial elements. So thank you, one and all, and then we'll see how post-colonialism is the representation of resistance. So thank you, one and all. We'll meet you in next.
Thank you, sir.